This is Max Blumenthal quoting from a New Republic article. He told me he had like 16 hours of videotaping with Jeffrey in his vault, Mark Epstein said. That's Jeffrey Epstein's brother, of course. And he told me it was protected because it was witness preparation and it was protected under attorney-client privilege. Okay, so apparently Steve Bannon, after he got thrown out of Camelot, Dark Camelot, we'll call it, cozied up to Jeffrey Epstein and gave him legal advice about how to not come across as a fan of the playground in interviews. A little bit from an article here. Jeffrey Epstein gave a series of interviews on film in 2019 in which his interviewer said the financier and convicted sex trafficker was, quote, engaging, not threatening, not at all creepy, a sympathetic figure. The interviewer was the former Trump strategist, Steve Bannon. The Times also reported that Bannon told Epstein to, quote, look directly into the camera now and then so as not to come across as stupid, and advised his subject not to share his racist theories on how black people learn. I'd like to know what those are. Mainly, Mr. Bannon tells Mr. Epstein he should stick to his message, which is that he is not a fan of the playground. By the end, Mr. Bannon seems impressed. So basically, Steve Bannon coached Jeffrey Epstein of how to come across as sympathetic when he's being deposed and presumably in interviews. So there's been a lot of people demanding that Steve Bannon release these tapes. And finally, he actually got asked about it.
Steve, big fan of your show. Just want to ask, in 2019, you did an interview with Jeffrey Epstein for a documentary you're making called Monsters. That interview never came out. Would you be willing to release that footage, and why hasn't the footage been released already?
We're going to release the film, the 5-part series next year, early next year.
Yeah.
You're going to see it. And by the way, the entire thing is how the elites in the intelligence services are inextricably linked with, it's what Tucker said last night. You're going to have to name names, and you're going to have to understand how the elites in the world, but also the intelligence services are inextricably linked in Epstein's story. That's the key.
Awesome.
Now, as many people point out, a better time to release that footage the next year would be now. How about now?
Right.
Now would be a good time. So Blumenthal says it is encouraging to see Bannon challenge to release the tapes, and his answer is not satisfactory. He has said he has 16 hours of interviews with Epstein. He should release all of it now. And Michael Tracy has been on this quite a lot. Good news. I just informed Ro Khanna that Steve Bannon is concealing the most explosive Epstein files. 15 plus hours of interview footage Bannon conducted with Epstein. Khanna says he will send my article to the relevant House committees with subpoena power.
All right, good for him. We'll get some new Substack subscribers.
We'll get. Yeah. I mean, this is a bit of a switch for him because he's been taking almost a trolling position on the Epstein files being a nothing burger.
Right.
So he's kind of switching it up now. He found a target that he's happy with.
Right.
He found an angle he can get behind.
Right.
Yeah, it sounds to me like the reason Bannon does not want to release this, we always want to be fair. I want to say, yeah, Bannon was in on it. I mean, I haven't seen any evidence of that. It sounds to me like these tapes are very embarrassing to Steve Bannon because Bannon, from the descriptions, is coaching Epstein on how to come off as sympathetic.
Right.
That's not very good for his career. That's why he doesn't want to release these tapes. But yeah, does that tell you something about who Steve Bannon is? This is 2019. People are well aware of who Jeffrey Epstein is at that point. Why are you helping him? There's some speculation that he was trying to get dirt on Donald Trump that way. But it doesn't really wash given the things he says reportedly in that interview. Steve Bannon is a fake populist. He loves to throw on the knee pads for powerful elites. He just likes to sheepdog people towards the elites whose views he's in alignment with. He loves elites. He loves oligarchs. He surrounds himself with them. He serves them. I mean, that's his gig, to pretend that serving elites, to kind of give some fake veneer of populist legitimacy intellectually to essentially worshiping oligarchs. He tries to legitimize the peasant mind. That's basically his gig.
Yeah, and isn't the documentary he was working on, wasn't it going to be called like Monsters or something?
Yeah,
I think
Monsters.
That was the name of it, and it never got released. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hours there.
If you just look at how he responds there, it's so obvious what his game is. Yeah, and I'll tell you what. It's going to be, you got to name names and you got to show how the intelligence services is tied to the elites. He knows the language. He knows the language. This is his business. This is his business. If he really believed that, he would just release the unedited tapes, right? No, he's not going to do that. He'll give you an edit that just shows some Epstein answers without showing his fawning questions. That's what you'll get from him.
Look, they are just screwed now. All of them are screwed because even if now they release the quote-unquote credible parts of it, people are not going to buy that they're getting all of it. Right? That's why I think, I forget which one of these guys, one of the MAGAsphere guys, said, release all of it, and then if there are parts of it that are tampered, put notes on those parts of it that this is not credible or this is tampered. I doubt any of it has been tampered with. I can't imagine the Democrats would tamper the Epstein files and then not release them in the campaign season during this existential moment where Hitler is about to take power, but you're going to sit on the Epstein files. That makes no sense at all. So I don't believe they're telling the truth about any of this, but I'm just trying to follow along for the sake of playing along, just to see where they're coming from, just to see like what they're thinking the way out of this is, because I don't really see any way out of this. The only way out of this, honestly, and this is what's terrifying to me, is war. War with Iran.
Exactly.
That would be a way out of this. Remember Gary Condit? Most people don't remember Gary Condit. I don't even remember everything about Gary Condit. He was being investigated for the disappearance of that girl that everybody thought
his intern, right?
Yeah, that everybody thought he murdered. And then 9/11 happened, and nobody ever heard Gary Condit's name again. So that could get this out of the news, and we know what Israel's plans are. So that's what makes this very scary, because absent that, absent some Deus Ex Machina or a wag the dog, there's no way out of this. None. That's why, seriously, I would be very interested as the days, and I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't think we're that far along into this, but as the weeks and months prod along, I'd be very interested to see what the poly market odds are of Vance taking over sometime in this term, because this just seems like a very difficult scandal to survive politically, given the pace at which information is coming out. I mean, we already had 2 Wall Street Journal exclusives. We already had leaks to CNN. You already got Michael Wolff here. You already got Midas Touch publishing these deposition videos. It's just been a few weeks, and we've already gotten quite a bit, and we really haven't gotten going yet because the House is still stalling. They can't stall forever, otherwise they'll never pass any bills. They'll never pass any other of Trump's agenda. So they can't stall forever. Eventually, they're going to have to cave, because this is going to become untenable, as evidenced in our next segment, where we'll see some Republicans are already starting to be like, all right, you know what? Yeah. We have a career ahead of us. Our plan is to be in office for the next 40 years. We can't just fall on this sword and just fuck our whole lives up. So we're going to have to, roll the dice and hope for the best when it comes to these Epstein files.
Please clap.